What's up, guys? Welcome back to Man Up Daily. Today we're talking about the things that take men off the wall. We're talking about the moment a man quietly steps off of his post and abdicates his responsibility. Not a dramatic collapse, nothing anybody even probably notices at first, just a husband who stopped leading his family into anything. A father who's present in the house, but he's checked out in every way that matters. A man who used to carry the weight for other people and now just carries himself in isolation and loneliness. A man who thought, man, if I just look at this once, it's not going to have any effect on me. A guy who thought that a simple conversation with another person when he has been hurt, thought that having a relationship outside of his committed one was the right step to make. That's what we're calling being off the wall. And I want to show you the 5 things that pull a man there. Scripture that we're rooted in today is 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14. And this is one of my all-time favorite verses. My old church spent a whole year teaching men how to stand firm. The verse says this: be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong, and do everything with love. Now, that is not a suggestion, guys. That's an order from Jesus. Be on guard means you're standing watch, like a man on a city wall, keeping his eyes open for what's coming. You're always looking for the enemy. The whole verse assumes you can get pulled off the wall. So let's actually give a name to what actually does that. Number 1 is pride. In every situation I've ever had with nearly every guy that has struggled with almost anything, the root cause of it, 99% of it, is pride. Ask yourself this when it comes to pride: do you need to take the credit like every time? Is it hard for you to compliment somebody without it costing you something inside? Do you require a thank you before you'll help someone again? Are you the kind of guy who always has to be right, even in conversations that don't matter? Like when someone's talking, you're already thinking of the response without actually listening to what they have to say. Pride puts you in a position as a man where you either humble yourself now on your own terms, or life humbles you later on its terms. And its terms are worse. The absolute worst thing a man can tell himself is that I got this. It's just like trying to fight the devil in the dark. If you fight the devil in the dark, you're going to lose every time. And that's why pride is the first one we have to address when it comes to men falling off the wall. Do you fall into that category? Number 2 is worry and anxiety. This is the guy that's running numbers in his head at 2 a.m. Not because he's actually solving anything, but just because stopping feels like he's losing control. He's physically at dinner with his family, but he's like mentally 3 moves ahead, calculating everything that could go wrong. Ask yourself this: can you sit in 5 minutes of silence without losing your mind, sprinting straight to worst case scenario? I literally had a conversation with my youth guys, the high school group that I have the opportunity to work with every week. And these kids are telling me, man, that they hate being in silent, like when it's totally silent, like their mind starts spinning, anxiety creeps up. Does peace, I guess a better way to approach this is, does peace actually feel unfamiliar to you? Almost like you don't trust it when it shows up? I think as I've gotten older, I only seek peace. I only want peace. Worry isn't just a bad mood, guys. It's you quietly trying to carry a weight God already told you to hand to him. And Jesus talks about this to his disciples. He says, you worry about the lilies of the field or the birds of the air. I mean, he's taking care of all of that. What makes you think he's not going to take care of one of the most precious things that he's created? Number 3 is laziness. And I want to be specific here because laziness doesn't always really look lazy. It's not just like the dude on the couch that you're thinking with like potato chips all over him. It's the husband who lets his wife plan and carry the entire spiritual life of the family because it's easier than initiating himself. It's the dad who shows up to every baseball practice but never once had a real conversation with his son about character, only about what's hitting the scoreboard. It's the guy who knows exactly what's wrong in his life and picks up the phone instead of dealing with it and starts doom scrolling every single night. That is called abdication. You didn't lose the job, you just handed it off to someone else. And here's the line that should sting a little bit. Passivity is holding back your own strength, your own manhood, for the sake of your own self-preservation. That's not peace, that's just hiding with better branding. Number 4 is isolation. And this one's sneaky because you can be surrounded by people and still be completely isolated. I know this feeling very well. I came back from my first deployment in 2012 from Afghanistan. I went to a church event. I went inside there with a bunch of people, and I felt lonelier than I've ever felt before. I just wanted to run outside, sit in my car with the engine running, probably just drive off and leave. But I felt isolated, and I continued to isolate myself because I didn't know how to integrate with other people. And even in moments when I got over all of that, men think they can do everything themselves. And what do we say, man? You fight the devil in the dark, you lose every time. You are not a one-man show. The lone wolf doesn't win. This guy, you hear guys say, man, I'm a lone wolf. Like, dude, the lone wolf's gonna die. Why do you think a pack survives? It's because they have teammates and people and to carry them through the mess that they're going through, to take them. You think one soldier's gonna win a war? That's not how it works. But you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely isolated. You show up to church, you shake a few hands, you say you're good, and then you drive home to a life nobody actually checked in on. Months later, nobody's checking in on you. Ask yourself this. Be honest. Is there one man who has permission to ask you a hard question and expect a real answer back? Do you have that guy in your life? When someone asks you how you're doing, do you tell the truth or you just perform fine? I'm fine. Fine stands for freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. You don't want to be fine. A man that fell off the wall by himself doesn't get back on it by himself either. You know what I mean? He needs somebody close enough to notice he's gone. And number 5, I don't want to say it's the king, but it's the one that's in every man's life. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care if you're 50 or if you're 15. The older you get, you're still tempted by the same things you were when you were 15. And number 5 is lust. And I don't want you guys to hear that only as it's a screen problem, a computer problem, though it's normally that quite often. It's an appetite that wandered off your actual covenant with Jesus or your covenant with your wife. Chasing a feeling instead of guarding your post. It's that one conversation with the secretary that you thought was going to be okay that turned into something else, and now you're emotionally invested. You're more emotionally invested in that relationship than you are with the one that you made a covenant before God. It's the eyes that lingered a little too long. At the gym, it's a nightmare, right, guys? But you're sitting there staring at a girl in her underwear and you just can't look away. It's just not that exciting. Ask yourself this, guys. Are you investing your imagination in the marriage right in front of you, or are you spending it somewhere else and just showing up here? Here's what happens to a man who lets any one of those 5 run long enough. He starts calling a defeated life normal. And nobody wants normal, guys. Broke becomes normal. Lonely becomes normal. Medicated just to get through the week becomes normal. Guys, none of that is what normal was supposed to mean. And if you want normal, you can have it. It's broke, lonely, and medicated. I want to be different. I want to be the man that's on the wall, and so should you. And broke, lonely, and medicated, that's just the average results of the 5 things nobody's dealt with. So what actually gets you back on the wall? It's going to sound simple, but a lot of guys aren't doing it. Pursue Jesus. Not pursue discipline, not pursue self-improvement in the gym or through your meals or through daily habits. Pursue Jesus specifically, because discipline without Jesus just makes you a well-managed version of the same problem. Now, I use the gym as a really good example. You're never going to be able to bench 225 until you've benched the bar at 45 pounds. You're never going to be able to have a disciplined, fruitful relationship with Jesus if you're not pursuing it every single day. You pursue that as the base, and your soul grows and your soul gets stronger. The rest will follow. I think about this every time. I think back to flying medevac missions. Nobody builds the strength to carry a wounded man onto a helicopter in the middle of a mission, right? We trained thousands of soldiers on how to bring wounded soldiers onto my Black Hawk helicopters. And some people are like, well, that sounds really easy. Well, when you're being shot at in the middle of a storm and dust is everywhere and bullets are flying everywhere and there's radios going off and people are screaming, it's a little more difficult than it seems. But you build that strength long before in training when nobody's watching. We flew hundreds of training missions with different organization, coalition forces. They learned intricately how to rescue somebody, but we did it when nobody's watching. If you wait to build that strength until the moment you actually need it, it's already too late. The weight is already on you and you're not ready for it. You're gonna die. The same thing applies to your walk with God. If you don't build the discipline of prayer, of being in the Word, of having men in your life who will check on you in the crisis, it's too late. So you got to build it now on a normal Tuesday, so it's already there when the crisis comes. Back in my old church, we used to call men like this mat carriers, and I hope and pray that you guys find guys like this. I have 5 or 6 of them right now on my phone. If I needed something, I need prayer, I talk to them regularly. When they're going through the darkest moments of their life or the best moments of their life, I'm reaching out to them, I'm talking to them, they're pouring into me. These are guys that are on fire for Jesus. You guys need to try to find men like that. Start with one and then add them on, because you don't want to go onto the battlefield without your buddy next to you. 1 John 4:19, we love each other because he loved us first. That's the part that makes verse 14 actually possible. Do everything with love. You're not gutting out love through willpower. That's like impossible. You're loving out of what's already been poured into you from Jesus. So don't make it about you. Don't make it harder than it is. Jesus did all the work for you. You're loving because of what he did for you. Pursue Jesus first, and the strength to stand firm and do it all in love follows behind that. So here's what you do today. Name which of the 5 actually has a hold of you right now. Pride, worry, laziness, isolation, or lust. And just be honest about it. Don't perform. You don't have to fake it. Then humble yourself on your own terms before life does it for you. That might mean, or it might look like, an apology to somebody you've been avoiding, or finally asking that friend for help. And pick one discipline you build starting today, not the week you need it. Whether it's prayer or the word or a buddy in your life who has the permission to ask you the hard questions, and it doesn't matter which, just start now. Just know that you're not alone in any of this, guys. At some point or another, I have been taken off the wall by every single one of these things, but only by the grace of Jesus Christ am I where I am today because of him. Stand firm, guys, and stay on the wall.